Going first, that's Kane Coy finding a target who's been his reliable man downfield all year long so far. That's Dylan Goodson on the deep throw and catch. And that's a touchdown for the Mustangs. Extra point, though, no good for McAllen Memorial, but they lead it 6-0. Vela answering back now. Jamal Pauly, you just hand it off to him, and he'll be your instant offense. Touchdown, Sabercats. Their extra point was good, so Vela takes a 7-6 lead, but Coy feeling anything but Coy on this one, this time using his legs. And look at him, he's got that breakaway speed. Touchdown, McAllen Memorial. They'd go for two after this touchdown here, and they'd get it. 14-7, Mustangs in the lead, but Miles Lopez for Vela finds his trusty tight end, Jackson Shoop. He shoops, he scores, running in for the touchdown. Extra point good, and we were tied up at 14 at the half, but in the end, McAllen Memorial takes the loss. Edinburgh Vela with a 31-27 comeback victory. Let's hear from head coach John Campbell after the win.
Wonderful ball game. It was back and forth the whole time. Got a stop there at the end, converted, got a score, and then obviously the rest is history.
And so what are your thoughts, the evaluations of the team so far?
They keep figuring out a way to win, so that's the good news. We have this tendency right now to make Coach Campbell older and grayer than what he needs to be. So I'll take the former, though, in terms of us still winning. So we're happy.
Next week you are playing the Raiders. What can we expect for next week's game?
We're going to enjoy this one. I mean, you can't say enough about PSJ North and what Coach Kaufman and those kids are doing over there. Tremendous challenge, to be by far the biggest challenge of the year. We're just getting over the high of this one. But, yeah, we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us.
All right, congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Joining the Sabercats in the win column, PSJA North, after quite the Thursday night showdown. They beat McAllen Bulldogs 56-0. The Raiders with their third shutout through 4 games on the early season. I've got that game against Vela circled on my calendar. I've had that for the past couple months now. Nicky Rowe came away with the win also, 35-3 in a home victory over Palmview, capping off District 15-5 AD1. The Rio Grande City Rattlers are now 2-2 on the year after beating Juarez Lincoln 38-14. Huskies still searching for their first win this season, and we'll take a look at the district later in the block here. But now over to our non-district side. By far the majority of the Valley teams still at this phase in this season, but it doesn't mean the games are any easier. Just ask Mission Veterans. They're 1-2 on the season, but have faced teams like McAllen Memorial, who we just saw, Harlingen. Now they took on San Benito in week 4. The Patriots not afraid of the tougher road ahead. They're not ducking nobody. The Greyhounds, though, however, they beat them last year in a landslide 53-7 victory. How would this one shake out? Well, when they hand it off to Fabian Garcia, some things never change. Garcia with the rushing touchdown for the Greyhounds. Extra point was good. And San Benito with the lead here, 7-0 in their early going, but they double up shortly after. Adam Cortez with the touchdown here. It faked out our cameraman. He was lost. Someone get my man a map out there over in San Benito. Touchdown for San Benito. That's the extra point there to make it a 14-0 ball game. But San Benito, they just kept on humming on offense. Another touchdown coming up, this time through the air again for the Greyhounds. That would make it a 3-score game. They would tack on again, but Mission Veterans, they're trying to find some offense. Braden Ludiker trying to rush one in. There he gets the rushing touchdown, but in the end, the final score, San Benito, a lot to a little, 63-25. The Greyhounds still perfect on the season. Now over to Richard Thompson Stadium. Sherryland Rattlers taking on Westaco. The Rattlers coming off a win last week against Rowe. Westaco's 3-0 coming into this one. The Panthers on a hot start to the year. That's because they keep handing it off to guys like Eli Rodriguez. 75 yards to the house. I'm surprised he didn't get gassed on that one. Some good conditioning there for the Panthers. They take the lead, but a little bit later, Westaco still doing some damage. You're going to see Andres Sepulveda finding his man deep in the end zone. Touchdown for the Panthers there to double up the lead. And that defense is really the story of the Panthers this year, especially that D-line. Boy, are they mean. You're going to see them getting to the quarterback week after week. Bo Krell, the victim here for the Panthers. In the end, it'd be Westaco to come away with the victory, 28-7, the final score over Sherryland. How about Westaco now 4-0? But how about PSJA? Still searching for their first win of the year. They took on Brownsville Hanna. The Golden Eagles 1-2 so far, and we're going to get things going. Hanna Christian Espinoza with the 8-yard touchdown there for the Golden Eagles to give them the lead. They missed the PAT, so it's 6-0. But here comes Jaime Lopez, a quarterback. He's a gamer, man. Touchdown for the Bears. He finds Jorge Alanis in the end zone, 2-yard score for the Bears, and they try to stop hibernating on this one. Lopez going through the air again. I'm telling you, he can make every throw in the book. Back shoulder fade to Emiliano Fraga, and he avoids the tackle, staying in bounds. Look at him go into the end zone, 80 yards to the house for the Bears, 14-6. The Bears led after the extra point, but Hanna not backing down. Ramiro Ruiz III pushing his way into the end zone, the punch-in for the Golden Eagles. But in the end, it'd be the Bears getting their first win of the year. Job well done by Jaime Lopez and the rest of his crew. 35-12 the final score over Brownsville Hanna. A battle between two identical records, 2-1 Ed Couch-Elsa on the road at Benny Laprade Stadium to face 2-1 Donna. This game had everything. We'll kick it off. Miguel Rodriguez fumbles the ball on this rushing attempt, but there is Isaac Estrada, heads up play, recovers it and recovers the fumble in the end zone. Still a touchdown for La Máquina Amarilla at 7-0 Yellow Jackets, but they keep it going. Gabriel Avila takes the snap and runs it himself for the touchdown. If he could just get past the man, Heisman-like stiff arm into the end zone there. Yellow Jackets are humming 14-0, but Donna just kept hanging in there. 4th down. Nice play from Donna here to get the ball back. And here's Jeffrey Lefevre sneaking it in himself. Touchdown. Oh, never mind. That's a handoff right there for Donna right there. They're cupping in. In the end, it'd be Donna that would come away with a nice comeback victory, 43-37. Let's hear from head coach Michael Gonzalez and quarterback Jeffrey Lefevre after a nice comeback win.
Not that I'm happy to be in this type of dogfight, but it gave our kids some resilience to believe that we can score from anytime, anywhere. Our defense steps up when we need to. Tonight was a total team effort. I'm very happy and proud of our team, our fans for staying the course. You know, they could have gone home at half. They decided to stay and watch us finish the fight.
We emphasized this week becoming a new team, becoming brotherhood, really emphasizing it, man. The O-line, I couldn't be more happier with them. And the defense, man, they stepped up.
Big shout out to Donna there. Now, how about Los Fresnos pulled out a 1-point victory over those PSJA Bears last week. Falcons soared over to face La Jolla, and they get things going. Luciano Perales scoring the first touchdown of the night. Way to go for the Falcons there. They're on the board, but the points would just keep on coming. Next up, Robert Pineda almost fumbles the snap here. Look at the team for a pass here, but instead decides to use his legs, and boy, is he electric. Pineda, the sophomore, just can dust everybody in sight. Open field. That's daylight, even though at nighttime, Falcons with a nice little touchdown there, but La Jolla hoping to get something on the board here on offense. Instead, Mauricio Mendoza fumbles the ball here. Los Fresnos, that's Hector Resendez who comes up with the recovery. A tough day on the ground for the Coyotes. It was 28-0 at the half, and in the end, Falcons would come away with the shutout win, 63-0 over La Jolla. Stick around, guys, because we'll head over to Port Isabel next, where the Tarpons took on Brownsville Veterans. All that and plus so much more right here on Fifth Quarter.
The Fifth Quarter, powered by Reyna's Barbecue.
Here at Reyna's Barbecue in Cocina, they have mastered the art of oak smoked brisket, sausage, and pork ribs. This is Texas eating.
It ain't Texas sin Tex-Mex. And Reyna's has plain grilled fajitas, charro beans and rice, y homemade flour tortillas.
That looks mighty tasty.
That smells real good.
I'll trade you a rib for a tortilla.
Simon.
Jim.
Reyna's Barbecue in Cocina.
Finding the certified pre-owned vehicle you want can be a challenge, but Clark Knapp Honda makes it simple. Simple low-rate financing, simple trade-in offers. The best and biggest Honda inventory you'll find in the entire Rio Grande Valley. We put all our certified pre-owned Hondas through a rigorous inspection process and offer extended warranties and service agreements. In short, we make it simple to drive out the pre-loved Honda you've had your eye on. Clark Knapp Honda. Simply better.
Paid for by Stanley & Associates.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. Legal professionals are standing by to tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hello, I'm Gina, along with spokesperson Rob. And Rob, tell the folks at home who should be calling right now.
Well, it's just like you said, Gina. Anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you do not have an attorney, pick up that phone and call right now. They will answer all of your questions and they will let you know how much your case is potentially worth.
So, Rob, what kind of calls have they been seeing so far?
Gina, they're getting calls from all types of accidents today. Work accidents, slip and falls, truck accidents, and most commonly, car accidents. So if you were injured in an accident that was not your fault, you do not have an attorney, take that first step right now. Pick up that phone and give them a call. They'll answer your questions and let you know how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. All right, folks, you heard it here. Go ahead. Don't hesitate. Call now.
Welcome back to Fifth Quarter, sponsored by Reyna's Barbecue. I'm your host, Brandon Benitez. Let's continue with our Week 4 slate over by the beach. We'll give some love to the Lower Valley, some action between Brownsville Veterans and Port Isabel. The Chargers, they're 1-1 on the year. With their bye week already out of the way, Port Isabel, they're 2-1 coming into tonight's home match. Now, the Chargers, they beat the Tarpons up last year. That was a 30-point victory for Brownsville Veterans. But how would this one shake out? Veterans getting on the board first. Alvin Trevillain, playing like a villain right here. Touchdown for the Chargers. They'd get on the board there, but Port Isabel, they answered back with a tough ground game too. Tristan Garcia punching it in from probably like a yard out there. Touchdown for the Tarpons, but Port Isabel, they'd keep it going. The punt here, Edward Garza on the punt, punts it right to Gilbert Trillo. And a nice, he'd shake some boots right here, man, and he'll get a little bit of space, but in the end, Tarpons would come away, a nice gain there for Port Isabel there. But Brownsville Veterans in the end would take the win 27-13 the final. Now how about Harlingen South in their final tune-up game before district play next week? The Southhawks hosting winless Brownsville Rivera, and the Southhawks, even though their mascot can soar, they were doing their damage on the ground. David Sanchez, the handoff, finds some space outside and races to the pylon. Touchdown, Southhawks, 7-0 lead for them, but they'd hand it off one more time. A play so nice, why not do it twice? David Sanchez on the ground, and Southhawks double their lead 14-0, but this time, with all the attention on the ground, they'll go to the air now. Yari Cabrera, wide open, and he basically walks right into the end zone, 21-0. And they tack on a field goal as well from Jessiel Ovalle. In the end, the Southhawks, they're back to a 500 record, 24-0, a shutout win over Brownsville Rivera. How about Brownsville Porter now still looking for win number 1. PSJA Southwest, the visitors tonight over at Sam Stadium. But it was the Javelinas that got on the board first. Handoff for Jose Pina in the red zone there. Javelinas with the touchdown as he finds his way into the end zone. Southwest taking the early lead, but Matthew Garcia running things deep in the territory there for the Cowboys. Goal line stand for the quarterback. He'd rush in. Would he make his way? He'd get pushed out of bounds just before reaching the pylon, but Garcia, he'd hand it off to Antonio Gonzalez a little bit later. Touchdown for the Cowboys. And they'd turn to some trickery a little bit later. Take a look at this. Garcia handing it off to Hernandez. You think he's going left, but then they reverse it. Antonio Gonzalez going the other way. But in the end, the Javelinas, 11 hats on the ball. They'd swarm there in the end, and they'd come away with the victory, 33-23, the final score. PSJ Southwest getting the win. Mercedes still looking for win number 1 on the season as well. La Feria, they host them. Then La Feria, the Lions, they lost a heartbreaker to Brownsville Pace last week, and they get going. Andrew Rivera finds his man looking right, throws right. Joaquin Trevino gets the grab, evades the defender, and there he is off to the races before he gets tackled down near the 10-yard line. Nice gain for the Lions, but Rivera connects with Larry Martinez a little later. Oof, what a dot. Love to see it. Lions. The extra point, though, was no good, but they still have a 6-0 lead. So what can Mercedes do? Sebastian Villarreal handing it off to Ethan Anciso for the 6-yard run up the middle. Tigers hoping to get something going on the ground. But in the end, though, Mercedes coming away with the victory. That offense that they prayed for, they got it. 42-6, the victory over La Feria. Tigers now back in the win column. Now how about Ingleside visiting Rio Hondo here? The Bobcats coming off a 72-point performance that they put up over Hidalgo last week, but here they come again. Ruben Atkinson, he was big, and this is a connection that we've seen all year long. Kian Lopez on the reception. Man, is he tough to tackle, but a little later, Lopez catching the ball again, this time in for the touchdown. But Rio Hondo, their Bobcats making plays on the defensive side of the ball. Fumble recovery for the Bobcats. It was tough sledding, though, in the end for Rio Hondo. They'd go on to lose this game, a tough, high-scoring game for the Bobcats. They lose it 50-38 to Ingleside, the final score. Elsewhere in the Valley, the last known score that we had here reported between John Paul and Progreso, it was the Cardinals with the lead, a 33-8 lead over the Progreso. We'll see how that one shakes out. We'll try to see if we can stick to that one online and get John Paul, the final score there from John Paul. Stick around. We'll have so much more for fifth quarter. We're going to take a look at the Thursday action and a nice look at District 15 5A D1 in the standings after Week 4. Till then, we'll be right back.
College football's finally here in the Valley. V's up.
Hey, when does the game start?
Says here fall of 2025. Well, I have the grill going, so...
We can wait.
Yeah, we can wait.
It's truck season. Get $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab at Payne West Laco Chevrolet and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Lo que tú quieres, regardless.
It's football season in the Valley, and Reyna's Barbecue and Cocina has you covered. We're doing authentic Texas-style barbecue and authentic Tex-Mex favorites. 2 unique flavors, 100% Texan. And it wouldn't be football season without our delicious smoked and crispy wings or our mouth-watering appetizers. Dine in, drive through, or let us cater your next event. It's football, food, and family at Reyna's Barbecue and Cocina.
Primera y 10, todos los viernes a las 9:30 de la noche por Noticias RGV, La Voz del Valle.
Welcome back to fifth quarter, sponsored by Reyna's Barbecue. I'm your host, Brandon Benitez. You know, we talk about possibly one of the tougher districts that we have here in the Valley. I'm talking about District 15 5A D1, especially after what I had seen over the past call it now 24 hours. Let's take a look at some of the action from yesterday's match. PSJ North looking to repeat victory over the McAllen Bulldogs. The Raiders beat them 55-0 last year. What could they do this year? Well, they came ready to run. Leroy Palacios getting the handoff here, faking out our photog. That Raider run game is as stout as ever. Unfortunately, they get flagged on this play, but no problem. That's going to be Julius Arredondo with the touchdown there for the Raiders, punching it in as they drove it down later. But then onside kick alert. Raiders with the trickery on special teams. They recover it, and there he goes. Jason Montes, you hand it off to him. Good things come. Raiders with another touchdown. They double their lead. And welcome back, Ale Aparicio. First game back from injury. It's his regular season debut this year. Throws a dime. Seems like he never left. That's Arredondo on the catch. Raiders roll once again. 56-0 over Mackay. PSJ North with their third shutout this season. And we had a chance to talk to head coach Marcus Kaufman and Ale after the win yesterday. Here's what they had to say.
In the first half, they had negative 17 yards of total offense, so I don't know what it ended up with. We ended up playing with our twos and their threes, but I think if we would have left our guys in, it was a pretty dominating performance tonight.
You know, it felt good going back. I was a little nervous going in, not expecting to do as good as I did, but I went out with the support of my teammates, the support of my family, and I was able to show out.
He looked fresh. He looked fresh. He was a little, in practice this week, he was a little jittery because he hadn't done it in a while, but he looked good tonight. He looked like a man among boys tonight.
excited for next week. Vela versus PSG North should be a good one. But sticking with 15-5 AD1, Nicky Rowe hosting Palmview in this one. The Warriors at 1-2. Lobos came in at 2-1. Elijah Garza got us going. Sideline throw to Isaiah Sanchez. That's a first down for the Warriors, 10-yard pass. But a little later, Isaiah Mata, he ran hard all night last night. Starts off with the gain here, 5-yard gain for the Warriors, but then Garza hits Sebastian Islas over the middle. Touchdown for Nicky Rowe. They'd go up 7-0 to start, but it was about the ground game afterwards. Mata was just unstoppable. 3 touchdowns on the night for the running back from Nicky Rowe. That one right there was his second one there. In the end, it'd be the Rowe Warriors coming out in convincing fashion, hoping to get in the playoffs this year. 35-3 victory over Palmview. And the Juarez Lincoln Huskies fell to 0-4 on the season. Rio Grande City now 2-2 after a 38-14 win on Thursday in the game we saw at the top of the show. Edinburgh Vela took on McAllen Memorial. Vela coming out with a nice comeback victory over the Mustangs, 31-27. And here's a look at how the overview of the district looks. We only had 7 spots. I had to do some squeezing right there for McAllen Memorial and Palmview. But take a look at it. Number 1, that's PSJ North. Let's go back to the standings there. PSJ North on top there, 1-0 in district. Edinburgh Vela following them as well. Nicky Rowe and Rio Grande City both lock up spots 1 through 4 there. Mac High, tough loss for the Bulldogs there. They'll hope to rebound next week. Same with McAllen Memorial, Palmview, Juarez Lincoln. We'll see how those teams fare out throughout the rest of the district play. Should be a good one. Now, some scores for you from Thursday. PSJ Memorial coming out with the victory, 52-21 over Donna North. But hang your head high, Chiefs. You're 3-1 on the season. That's a school record. You've never won more than 3 games in a year, so congrats to them. And Sharyland Pioneer coming out with the victory, 44-6 over the Valley View Tigers. Stick around. We'll have next week's games plus a couple score recaps when we come back.
Shop the only dealer in Texas to win Dealer of the Year for both Buick and GMC. And save on a new Envision with 1.9% financing, a $750 purchase allowance, and no payments until 2024. In the heart of the Valley, Bird Ogden Buick GMC Edinburgh.
It's football season in the Valley, and Reyna's Barbecue and Cocina has you covered. We're doing authentic Texas-style barbecue and authentic Tex-Mex favorites. 2 unique flavors, 100% Texan. And it wouldn't be football season without our delicious smoked and crispy wings or our mouth-watering appetizers. Dine in, drive through, or let us cater your next event. It's football, food, and family at Reyna's Barbecue and Cocina.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro. The natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Shop the only dealer in Texas to win Dealer of the Year for both Buick and GMC. And save with 1.9% financing on a new Acadia. Plus, make no payments until 2024. In the heart of the Valley, Bird Ogden Buick GMC in Edinburgh.
We'll wrap up with some Thursday action that we didn't get to see yesterday. Harlingen visiting Roma to take on in a neutral site against Laredo United South. Cardinals got on the board first, though, and shout out to our friends at KGNS Laredo for the video. Cardinals with a 10-0 lead. That's Noah Huerta, who made it 17-0 in a 20-yard score there for the Cardinals. But it took a while, but United South finally was able to respond. Luis Cisneros with a beauty of a pass, though, I will admit, laying it out for Joaquin Montemayor just over the defender there. 4-6 and the Panthers on the board, but eventually the Cardinals were able to get a stop on special teams. That field goal would have cut it to a 1-possession game, but instead they take it the other way. The Cardinals coming out with the victory in this one. The final score 23-14. Harlingen Cardinals now 4-0 on the year. Now I want to talk about some of next week's games because, man, do we have a lot of really good matchups on tap for us in Week 5. Let's start off with the one we were just talking about, PSJA North taking on Edinburgh Vela. It's perhaps the Valley's most anticipated match year in and year out as far as two Valley competition opponents there. Probably Battle of the Arroyo probably has something to say about that as well. But Harlingen South kicks off district play. They'll host Westaco East. Should be a good one for the Southhawks. That's going to be another dogfight of the district over in 5A. Mercedes hosts Sherryland next week. Should be a good one for the Tigers. And how about Port Isabel? There's some non-district play here, but two really tough opponents. A lot of ground game efforts there between Port Isabel and Ed Couch Elsa. Should be a good match coming up next week. Now, how about some recaps of scores from Week 4 at least? Edinburgh Vela in comeback fashion. They trailed by 10 in the fourth quarter. They came back to win at 31-27 over McAllen Memorial. Great game for the Vela SaberCats. They moved to 1-0 in district play. What else do we got here? Let's see. Other scores from around the Valley. San Benito coming out with a 63-25 victory over Mission Veterans. The Greyhounds now 4-0. The Greyhounds looking like they could be one of the top teams in 6A. They might have a chance to take 32 6A. I'm sure Harlingen has something to say about that as well, though. PSJ Southwest coming out with the victory. They keep Brownsville Porter winless here, 33-23, the final score. Javelinas over Cowboys. Next up, we have Westaco, another undefeated. This is the reason why District 32 6A, honestly, could be one of the tougher ones as well, in addition to 15-5A D1. Panthers also undefeated. We got 3 undefeated teams in that district. 28-7 victory for the Panthers over the Rattlers. And Brownsville Hannah, they take a loss, but PSJA Bears, they get their first win of the year, 35-12 over the Golden Eagles. Shout out to head coach Lupe Rodriguez and Jaime and the boys. Great job for the Bears. Mercedes, we just told you, they took the victory over La Feria, 42-6. The victory, Tigers over Lions. A battle between cats there, going Mercedes' way. Brownsville Vets takes the win, 27-13. A tough ground game for the Chargers another year. They beat Port Isabel 27-13. Thanks so much for joining us in Week 4 edition of Fifth Quarter. I'm your host, Brandon Benitez. So long and have a good night.
The Fifth Quarter, powered by Reyna's Barbecue. The Fifth Quarter, powered by Reyna's Barbecue.